终于可以来看故事。
Welcome back, traveler. You came to the right place, traveler. Well, Brabus, he's my son. 'Twere his idea to come join this little shanty town. Not a bad idea it was, neither. He's over yonder, at the shooting range, if you're looking to find him. Not much of a talker, though, that one. Guess he didn't get his old man's gift for gab, eh?
等一下，装个水，突然发现没水。
You bet your apple I can, but these ain't just stories, stranger. They're objective retellings of legitimate occurrences what you wouldn't believe. Now, where to start? You met old Wally yet? The boy ain't right, but not in a mudder way. He just ain't right. Talks to the root, he says. I reckon I know why, too. I ain't never told him this, but I was there at his birth. Don't believe me? You wouldn't be the first, but it's true. That boy Wally was born under a blood moon. Always strange, they say. Harbinger of changeification and whatnot. I heard him cry out his first breath I did, and I says to myself, that ain't natural. Like the squall of some blackbird. Caw-caw! Oh, don't tell him I said it. He wouldn't believe it anyway. Or maybe he would, come to think of it. You talked to him yet? Boy ain't right. Here's a good one. It's about the time my own damn son left me to die. Oh, don't worry, I'm still here, ain't I? Or he went to get some grub for us or whatever, I don't know. Point is, I was alone in the darkened woods with nothing but my rifle. We was on our way from the city to our new home in the ward here, carrying all my earthly possessions and all that, and Brabus, he up and leaves me in the middle of the night. I was attacked. 20, no, 50 deadwood come crashing through the trees. We thought they was all dead and gone, but they were just a-waiting for old Mudtooth to leave his helio chopper. Now, I may be an old mudder, but I ain't no pushover. I blasted them down, left and right, laughing all the time. I was winning until something snuck up on me and concustipated me upside the head. I don't mind telling you, I thought I was done for. Then a growling starts. Deadwood back off, and I look up to see a dog there tearing them apart, literal limb from non-metaphorical limb. We fought the rest off together, that dog and I thought to myself, now there's a mudder what's got some teeth. Turns out he just wanted some of my stew. Don't think I told you this one yet. You ever wonder what the world was like afore the Deadwood came? Well, pull up a chair, young'un. The world was filled with people. I'm talking millions, maybe even bazillions. Why, you couldn't sneeze without snotting someone in the face. Now, these folks weren't like us nowadays. They had so much food that they would eat for fun. They'd get together to eat the extra meat. They had spare ribs, called it a barbecue. They were immune to all kinds of diseases. And every one of them, every one, had a puppy. Huh. And the world was run by, let's see here, what was it now? A presidentures, yeah, that's it. On account of the ceremonial wooden teeth. Whole damn world was ruled by the presidentures of the United States, yes, sir. It was a better time then. Folks resolved their differences by coming together, listening to each other's problems and trying to solve them together. Oh, I guess that's what young Bo's trying to do with this place, ain't he? He ain't done half bad so far, neither. I reckon you gotta go through the bad to get to the good again. It's always there waiting if you just keep on looking. Don't think I told you this one yet. So, I gotten separated from the Crazy Eight, my gang, you see. We've been chased by these big old deadwood, taller than a man with 10 times as many pointy bits. Whew, nasty fellers. The others, they holed up in this old scrap building and slammed the door. Left me for dead. There was no way in, but there were these old pipes underground. Sewage, judging by the stink. But I weren't gonna stay out there with deadwood creeping round, so I held my breath and crawled through what must have been half a mile. I come busting out of the pipes and right into the middle of the Crazy Eight. They were holding me a funeral. I stand up, covered in mud and God knows what else, and just smile at them. And that, friend, is where I got the name Mudtooth. Let me see here. Long time ago, when I was just 10 years old or so, I moved to a place called Sanctuary. Sanctuary was true to its name. It was a place where folks came to be free from the dead wood, to protect each other. A lot like this place. Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees, and one thing I never... Boy, Sanctuary had everything. Folks there had working engines and roads filled with fruit trees. But Sanctuary had this one thing I ain't never seen since. They called them movers, and I can still see them in my mind. See, they hook up this battery, right? Only it weren't storing power, but stories. They'd hook it up to a wheel and a light, and bam! Whole worlds just show up on the wall. Talking rabbits and stuttering pigs and this one real surly duck. Maybe it's something like Ford's old crystals. Except you couldn't walk into the movers. Believe me, I tried. Nah, they just played for you, sound and all. Transporting you to another place. Maybe that's where I got my love of stories, huh? Huh. Never really thought about it till now. You won't believe this one, but you should. Let me tell you what those folks are up to in that atoll, that Ward 10 and 7. That was where they did their experimenting, see? They made weapons for the USA. That's what this land was called back then. And the root, you see, they were cloned. Yes, sir. They found root D and A trapped in red amber, and they done built themselves an army. But this army, it got out of hand and turned against them. couldn't tell the difference between the Usaneans and whatever else there was. Pretty good weapon, if you ask me. Nigh on slaughter the whole damn world. Makes you think, though. What else were them Usaneans capable of? Maybe it's for the best they ain't around no more. Don't think I told you this one yet. I ever tell you how the world fell in the first place? Well, sit down, friend, 'cause there ain't no one knows what really happened but me. It started in them wards, see? Secret military-industrial complexes and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did their experiments. Now, the root weren't meant to reproduce, see? They was built as a weapon, but then they done breeded and got out. And well, we all know what happened after that. Only reason the root stopped was 'cause the Wanderer, well, he flamethrower-sized their queen, see? Over in that tower on the atoll, so's they couldn't breed no more. Now, listen. You might hear Ford tell you something different, but you look at the two of us and ask which has obviously been around longer. Which of us is most like to have been there, huh? You ask yourself that, and then you just look my way, 'cause that's who it is. You won't believe this one, but
you should.
I do miss the days when you could find the stuff the old world used to make. Canned foods, spiced chocolates, electronical music boxes. Oh, found this old can of what's-it once. As in, we literally did not know what was in it. The can weren't open, but the label had long rubbed off. Finding that was like all our birthdays at the same time. That can must have been 100 years old, banged up and bloated. Could have been anything in there. So, my boys did what any good family would do. They dared me to drink it. Well, I ain't one to back down from something stupid. So, I grabbed the can and said, No, I'm awake. Well, I ain't one to back down from something stupid. So, I grabbed the can and said something sensually flattering about their mamas. Then, I popped the top. Woohoo! Damn stuff hissed and fizzled like some kind of brown sludge demon. Smelled like one, too. I chugged the whole damn thing. The thick goop tasted like scented sewer water. Burned my brain like a chili pepper. I nearly puked with each swallow, but I weren't gonna give them the satisfaction. When I threw the can aside, the boys cheered. I opened my mouth, flashed them a smug smile, and my teeth was all stained the darkest mud brown you ever seen. They stayed that way for at least a month. And that's where I got my name.
你看怎么讲啊？不太一样的版
You'll
本。
like this one. Did I tell you I once sailed across that ocean to that old rusted tower? It was after that wanderer came through here and cleared out the storm. Old Mudtooth's crazy, you know, but I ain't stupid. I tell you, I saw things down there that you ain't never seen in your life. Down there in that rusted place was just machinery and roots twisting every which way, like the root themselves had built it. But they didn't. No, that old place was called Ward 10 and 7. You can see it plastered all over, and it was built by humans. By the folks Ford himself used to serve, if you can believe that. Oh, he'll deny it, I'm sure. But all them electronicals they got down there are the same damn things you'll find in old Ward 10 and 3. That place, I know he found it. He's the founder, after all. What were they up to down there? Now, that's the question. I heard some answers myself, but I don't know if I believe them. There's a story for another time. Oh, here's a good one. You've been introduced to that girl Clementine. Powerful woman she is, but she weren't always so. She's near as old as Ford is, if you can believe it. Even older than my old bones. How about it? Those two have a lot in common, including traveling to other worlds. Clementine, see, she was born on Earth, but she spent most of her life on the snow. Just pausing for drama, see? You see, she was born on Earth, but Clementine spent 100 years on a snow world called Resome. They call it that on account of some you read and some you don't. Anyway, what was she doing all that time? Training. See, Resome's full of giant talking rats. They got warrior rats and midwife rats and even mystic rats. Clementine, she learned under the tutelage of a two-headed mystic named Sebum. Taught her everything she knows. She don't talk about it, of course, on account of Sebum's a wanted man. Rat, I guess. But it's God's own truth. I met the man myself, Rat. Stop me if I told you this one already. I've been telling tales about the Ford family for years. I tell you, nothing about them surprises me no more. Like old Commander Ford, one who used to run this here ward, she was the youngest of the family. She's the one what brought most of this town together. They say she's dead and buried, but they don't know the truth of it. See, the old Commander were the youngest, but she ain't the last. Old Ford, her grandpa, is still kicking here in town. Crazy old man went and fought the Deadwood head on and lived. Her grandmother was half Root herself. Folks used to call her the Root Mother. And oh, she were a twisted one, let me tell you. The thing about the Fords is they can't die. Not a single damn one of them. I mean, look, they all thought old Ford had died long ago, and there he is, plain as day. I don't care what anyone says. I swear to you on my unborn brother's life, the other Fords are still out there somewhere, too. You'll like this one. I ever tell you about the Shrouded King? No, it ain't a book. It's real, I tell you. Real as every damn story I know. He's the king of another world, see? And his world was overrun by the Root just like ours. Or at least it was gonna be. The Shrouded King, he got his people together to draw as much power as he could from his own ding-dang-dingity son. Used it to make himself a weapon. Soon as the Root showed up, he fired the damn thing. Now the king, he knew what was about to happen, but he didn't tell nobody. That weapon weren't just gonna scorch the Root. No, it scorched the whole dim darn dingity world. Burned the Deadwood the hell out of there. Killed half his kingdom and twisted the other half into something unrecognizable. And that's why he wears a shroud, see? Because he done twisted himself in the process. But he don't want no one to see the mangledy bits of his face parts. You'll like this one. There's an old man what lives at the center of a maze. Or does he live at the gate to the maze? I don't matter. This old man sees everything. And I don't mean like he can see whatever he wants when he wants. I mean, he sees everything all at once. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is also, I'm getting to it. That ain't all. The old man in the maze is a maker. The maze, see, is like a spider web full of doors, stretching its threads every which way. And this watcher man sits at the center. And he don't just watch. He makes. Where there ain't a door, he makes one. And then he makes what's on the other side of it, too. Oh, I can see on your face you ain't buying it. But I tell you, this Earth of ours is just one door in a dozen hundred. And if in this maze watcher decides he wants someplace to end, all he got to do is snap a thread and poof, no more door, no more world. This one's 100% true. So this wanderer comes up to visit me at my heliocopter, right? They're decked out with guns, but they walk up and ask for stew and a story. I'm thinking they'll get tired and wander off and take my story somewhere else like all the rest. But they don't. They listen to all of it. And I think to myself, this mudder actually wants to hear these. Reminds me of my ma, tell you the truth, the way I'd listen to her, and the way my boy Brabus used to listen to me. Before he turned away, that wanderer reminded me of family. And that's the most important thing, ain't it? So I figure I ain't left long for this world. So I give 'em my wife's old watch in thanks. Ain't too long after that, my boy Brabus comes back in person, first time in years, with a watch chain peeking out his pocket. I knew a good thing when I saw it. I didn't say nothing. Just welcomed the boy back like nothing had changed. Family's the most important thing we got in this world, young'un. Don't forget that. Here's a good one. This city ain't without its own tales. Why, there's a tower, see? What only appears once in a gibbous August moon. Kinda looks like a big yellow-orange pumpkin. And within that tower is a man. Except he's not a man. He's a wizard, see? He calls himself the Keeper, and he controls everything. I've seen him myself. Even talked to him once. Man, smart as hell. So smart, even I can't keep up with him. He says he watches over all of us. But if that's the case, then he ain't been doing such a good job. I mean, look around you. But I reckon he means well. And that tower, I think, is like a spaceship he uses to teleportate to other planets. You go walk the city in a harvest pumpkin moon. You'll see what I mean. Let me see here. Ho! You met my boy Brabus yet? He's a handful, that one. Always has been. Got into a scrap when he was 5, he did. Knocked down a boy had to be, twice his age. And 3 to 6 times his height, at least. Well, that boy's pa didn't take it none too well. And this pa, phew, like a pair of fists with leg bones. That boy's pa wanted to take some skin out of me for it. Now, I ain't proud of what I did next, but oh, who am I kidding? I wouldn't be telling you if I weren't proud, now would I? But, like I taught Brabus, say as I do as I say. And anyways, I couldn't back down from a fight, not in front of the crazy 8. Come to think of it, that's probably how Brabus got the way he is. Anyway, I fight the man. He could have crushed my head between market and roast beef, but I aim to win, not fight fair. I pointed at nothing at all behind him, then smooshed a scoop of mud straight into his mouth. Then, while he was a-spitting and a-sputtering, I hit him hard. So hard that when he fell, my muddy hand came away with 3 of his teeth in it. And that, friend, is the true story of how I got the name Mudtooth. Here, right? Good listen, Tater friend. Tell you what, though, I'm a little light on the stories right now, but you look like you could use yourself some company. I got just the cure for that. And I ain't talking about my stew this time. Take this and check back with me later. I'm sure I'll have some newly re-remembered stories for you then. Let me see here. Ain't no one on this planet more beautiful or dangerous than the Moth Queen. She rules an old swamp about 100 miles off in, that direction. Folks say if you climb one of these here towers on a clear night, you can see the swamp lights a-flashing. But them ain't no ordinary swamp lights. And she ain't no ordinary queen. She don't lead her people, who really ain't even people, come to think of it. Anyways, the Moth Queen draws her folk to her like a... well, like a moth, I guess. That's how the saying goes. Anyway, she captures folks with her beauty and her mothy pulchrituditude. And she never lets them go. She infects their mind so they never want to leave. And she turns them into something else. If you head off that way, keep your wits about you. 'Cause that swamp used to be a city as big as this'n. But no more. No more. You'll like this one. Crazy 8 traveled a lot after leaving Sanctuary. Came to this one town named Ghostwell. No, Oakhole. No, wait. It was Swan Creek. Swan Creek, I'm sure of it. Anyway, this Croakswell town didn't take kindly to strangers. And that sure as hell meant us. We stayed anyway, of course. Brought 'em good scrounge, we did. Nobody scavenged like the Crazy 8. And there was this girl, smartest damn girl you ever met. Her old man, though, he didn't like us one bit, especially me. So, one day, there's a banging on our doorstep, and I go to open it, and... no more shoes. I'm drowning in boots. Huh? Oh, right. Anyways, her old man, though, he didn't like us one bit, especially me. So, one day, there's a banging on our doorstep. I open the door, and the girl's old man clocks me with the butt of his shotgun. Knocked out one of my teeth, he did. Then, he points the gun in my face and starts shouting, "Which one of you assly hoes got her in the family way?" he says. "I know it was one of you." Well, I ain't gonna argue with a man behind a gun. So, I looks around, sees my tooth in the mud, and says, "Mudtooth, he's the one you're after." And off he ran after someone who don't exist. Or didn't exist, I guess. We ditched Ghost Crack that day, but the name came with me. And that's the story of how Brabus was born. Except he weren't born yet, was he? Not born then. The other thing. Conceptualized. Ho, 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 ho! Here's a good one. You want to know the truth about young Bo over there? To start off with, the boy ain't all that young. I mean, sure, he ain't nothing to old Mudtooth, but ain't a lot of folks around who remember him as a boy no more. Why is that? Well, I'll tell you. Bo Ward, he made a deal with the Wanderer. Don't believe me? It was Bo who met the Wanderer at Old Ward 10 and 3. And it was Bo who took him over to that Ward Goose Egg, the one where the root started. He won't admit it, but it was Bo what rescued Clementine and shut the door on the dead wood for good. The boy's more than he tells, and a good deal more than he knows. Why else would folks around here put him in charge of everything? Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! So I was on a scrounge with the Crazy Eight. That was my gang back in the day. We came across this old hospital, see? Folks were holed up in the basement, trapped there for God knows how long. But the Root had found those folks same time we did. Now the Crazy Eight, they were all for running. We got 88 problems, they'd say, and dead folks ain't one of them. But not me. I knew those folks needed help. Also, knew they had food and meds. So I fought for them, tooth and nail. Literally a biting and a chewing the damn deadwood off me. When it was over, the Crazy Eight come up to me, and I just smile at them, with root bits stuck all over my teeth. Looked like mud, they said. There you go. Mud Tooth. Name stuck ever since.
已经五种那个绰号的来源。
Ah, here's a good one. You heard about the old wards, right? Hell, you should have. You're on top of one. The wards were where the Root were born. Government experiments, you understand. Well, the oldest one, Ward Goose Egg it's called, was where it all started. And that's where it was worst, see? So, this mad scientist name of... his name was... and that's where it was worst, see? So this mad scientist by the name of... let me see now, what was his name? Leto was his name. He says there's only one way we can stop what we made and save the world. So, he flies his heliopopper. They flew back in those days, see? That's what they were built for. And he looks down at the ward where the Root are pouring out like ants. And he says, blow that sucker up. And boy, they did. Blew the whole damn thing. Didn't stop the Root, though. I mean, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Here's a good one. I ever tell you about the time I killed 300 deadwood in one go? Whew, that's a tale. So, I lived up in this old, Heliochapatakater whatchahoozits, great sniper's nest. Let me pop off deadwood from a mile away. But one night, I wake up to a rustling and a howling, right? I look outside, and there's deadwood all around the place. Hundreds of them. But they don't stop coming. And I'm thinking, this is finally it. But then, I see tucked away behind an old building the cracked open end of an old gas main. So, I squint my good eye and pray to Kennedy, Jeebus, and Cash. And I squeeze the trigger, and my bullet flies through the air like a hawk to a coney. Caw-caw! It scrapes the pipe, and boom! Whole damn horn goes up in flames. Not a single one of them left. Deadwood never did bother me after that. Sure can. Let's see. Ho-ho! I ever tell you the secret behind my stew? Well, I ain't gonna. But I will tell you how it came to be, yeah? The original recipe comes from my ma, of course. But that ain't the end of the story. My ma made a fine stew. But it weren't nothing to tell tales about. Not until the day me and the Crazy Eight got ourselves trapped in one of them old, medieval, meditating... We was trapped in one of them medicinal compounds full of pharmaceuticals and whatever you call them. And I had nothing but a dead coney and an onion on my belt, which weren't good for much, but were the style at the time. So we scrounged for ingredients. Well, them hospitalities ain't no good for food, but they do have some pretty mean spices lying around if you know what you're doing, which I do. That night was the best stew any of us ever had in our lives. Kept us going for days, until finally the dead wood outside got bored and took off. And that, friend, is the same stew I make today. I even use the same ingredients as them back in the day medicinals. Better even.
所以到底是什么东西做的？
This is 100% true. Back when the earth fell, a dragon, a real root dragon, took up residence over there, just like in old fairy tales. It started in them wars, see? Your eyes only hush-hush military conspiracizing farms and whatnot. That's where they made all their weapons and did them experiments. And just like those tales, it took a what now? It took a night to slay this dragon. Oh, ho, ho, but the dragon was crafty, all right. He knew the knight needed help, so the dragon gave it to him. Yep, the dragon took the form of a talking tree and told the knight if they wanted to slay that dragon, they'd have to slay all these other beasts first. A cyclops, a living statue, what do you call them? Golem. Well, the knight slayed them all. But the thing was, these beasts weren't protecting the dragon. They were holding him back. So when the dragon finally did reveal itself, it was too strong for the knight. And it took him, body and mind, and made their strength its own. Would you believe old Mudtooth's out of tales? Well, don't, 'cause I ain't. But I could use some time to simmer before telling the next one. Come back later, yeah? Oh, ho, ho. You came to the right place, traveler. I'm always here to answer them. If you got them.
哦，看完了。
I can tell you right now, you won't be disappointed.
摩吉宁静泉水，效果都很长。
Take care, young'un. Don't be a stranger. Howdy. What you need? Oh, ho, ho. You came to the right place, traveler. I told you, these ain't stories, but genuine, actual history, fact proven by me. So I can't just be making them up as I go on. It ain't working that way. You give me some time to think, and I'll remember up a good one for you later. You came to the right place, traveler. Pity that there. Take care, young'un. Don't be a stranger.
Oh. 我说我要去哪里了？终于有机会走来这里了。
I saw you go in the old ward with Ford, and then come back through that red stone. Huh. You seem fine. Maybe I'm just fretting for nothing.
给我乱丢石头！
Have you seen Miss Clementine? I can't find her. What? Hey, stranger! Nice get up.
Your face looks weird.
很酷好吗，小子？
What are you looking at? What? We gotta watch our own. No one else will. What are you supposed to be with that getup?
That's a nice weapon, but Miss Clementine doesn't need weapons.
You smell funny, outsider.
行啊。是那个是塔吗？当时的那个不知道哎。他们有没有想过爬到船上去看有没有什么东西啊？
I see you, traveler. This is Earth before the root came. No, wait. After the root came 121 years ago and killed over 97% of the world's population. They counted. Ah, sorry. This is our home. Our place. Everyone's got a place. Root attacks have slowed down here some since the old days, but they're still around. I mean, you knew that. The door was destroyed. All the doors. They can't come in no more, but they're trying. They'll never stop trying. I see things. Always have. Things I don't want to see. Things no one else sees. It's the root. They're connected. We're connected through the sight. When I was a kid, I thought they were nightmares. My big brother Mark talked me through them. Things were easier with Mark. Then Mark died. And the root mother came. She was something else. Not root, not human, but I was drawn to her. Commander Ford didn't want me talking to her. It didn't stop me. She told me what I was seeing. Taught me to use it. Taught me how not to use it. I'm one of the few people that misses her, now that she's gone. My people here. They need the sight. Like you and your friend need it.
过了未来
Oh,
吗？
I've seen you a bunch of times. They think about you a lot. That's how I knew where you were, and where you would be. That's how I knew I'd meet you today. I don't know anything. I see what they see, the shapes of things, the silhouettes of events so certain they can't be changed. If I hadn't told Clementine you were out there, you wouldn't be here. But I saw you here, clear as day. They saw you. Oh, there's a lot of things coming. You're in the middle of most of them. Who the hell knows why? But it starts with Ford. I've seen it. I see what the root sees. Past, present, future. Worlds to be, and worlds long gone. They see everything. I see in pieces. Too much, and not enough. They obsess, the root. Focus, cessation, serenity, similitude. But they can't see past oblivion. And they can't see all ends. Can't see their end. death and oblivion. A flaw that became perfection. The root only want to kill, to annihilate, to silence. Yeah. Blessed silence. Serenity among the ashes. Huh. Everyone asks. No one wants the answer. That's what they say. It's never true. The root won't ever stop. And they can never die. When one falls, another takes its place. Always. For the root, there's no time. Patience is just existence. Doors close and doors open. And the root waits behind every one. They see only one end. The end of everything. There's no other outcome. Yeah, I'm sorry. That's not what you want to hear. It never is. You will. I knew you would. Death. And the root only want to... You will. Sorry. Was this the first time?
贤者之石，毁灭之珠。哦，哇哦！重置所有已分配的特性，不知道干嘛的。要10个流光水晶，而且我有材料，不知道为什么。为什么有材料？ 哦，可以炼金术。啊，对，我看完了那个阿北的故事，要花40分钟。然后你可以拿到这个，要去拿这个枪械切换速度加30%，装弹速度加10%，这个玩意儿。如果你想要的话，你可以去跟他听40分钟。Yep。 这边是干嘛的？OK， 怎么没跳过？ 干嘛跳呢？我在讲1代的故事啊。没兴趣就会跳过了。
Don't worry, Mr. Guardian. I'll protect you.
Okay.
How can Dwell aid this Paxel Tech in its fight? Of course. Yes, that is always the question. I am Pan, from the world of Yesha, where the Eternal Empress reigns, the Doe and Ravager run free, and the balance breathes life to the jungle. Or so it used to be. Alas, it is not. Long and long have the Immortals oppressed the common Pan, wielding their power as if it were something they had earned or deserved. The Pan have rebelled against this tyranny, and for a time, it looks as if we could win. Then the pestilence came. What Paxel Tech call the Root. When I last saw her, Yesha languished under the pestilence. The Ravager prowls, and the Doe is lost. The rebellion continues, but my people ache for relief. Ah, yes. Ah, yes.
Hints.
Until we meet once more.
好，先吃饭，吃完饭继续看，看完再看要不要打，好吧？